Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Sky Bogue, and I am the Marketing Manager at European Space Imaging. It is my absolute pleasure to welcome you all today to Maxar's EarthWatch webinar. With me today is Sales Manager Anu Duron, who will host today's session alongside Customer Support Representative Toby Hediger. In addition, we also have our Digital Marketing Manager, Matthew Shelnut, along with Sagita Grinfeld from Customer Support, who will be monitoring the chat to ensure all of your questions are answered. In terms of the webinar room, the chat box to the right of the screen is there for you all to communicate with each other. To make it as simple as possible, please ask any questions for the host that you may have throughout the webinar on the Questions tab only, and not in the Chat tab. This will allow us to keep track of all the questions being asked and will help to minimize any questions being missed. By chance, if there are any questions missed, these will be answered at the end of the webinar. And of course, you are most welcome to ask additional questions at the end of the presentation. On the Polls tab, you will find some pre-configured polls relating to the webinar. This will give us some useful information relating to the platform and your needs as the customer. Furthermore, to view the webinar in full screen, simply select the button with the two outward-facing arrows. Lastly, before I hand over to Anu and Toby, I just want to mention that this webinar is being recorded and will be delivered by email within a week to all of our guests and to anybody who is unable to attend our webinar today. So, without further ado, let us begin.
Thank you, Sky, and welcome everyone. So let me start with a quick overview of what exactly EarthWatch is. EarthWatch is a new, innovative way to access satellite imagery based off on-the-cloud capabilities. Until now, satellite imagery has only been accessible through standard ordering of a specific AOI, specifying image cat ID and with the pricing per square kilometer. This is still our main way to deliver imagery, and it is satisfactory for most of the use cases. EarthWatch is an online access to the Maxar and European Space Imaging catalog without any geographic, temporal, or quality restrictions. It's therefore a huge resource at your fingertips and is adapted to use cases requiring extensive use of imagery, without delay, whether over large areas or spots requiring a temporal monitoring. In terms of cost, it's a consumption-based pricing model. EarthWatch comes with a quota of data that the user is free to use as he wants, whether in streaming or in downloading data. I will come back on the consumption model a bit later, and further information on pricing can be found on our website using our EarthWatch pricing calculator. Just go to www.euspaceimaging.com/earthwatch. Matthew or Sigita will put this into the chat for you to make it easier. Let's have an overview of the content of EarthWatch. But first, I want to mention that there are three versions of the product: EarthWatch Premium, EarthWatch Standard, and EarthWatch Streaming. EarthWatch Premium includes daily, which is a layer including all the new strips collected. The holdback is 48 hours, which means that the images are available in the platform maximum 48 hours after acquisition. In EarthWatch Premium, you also have access to the whole catalog, including QuickBird and iConos imagery. In addition, a set of mosaics is included in EarthWatch Premium. Vivid, which is a high-quality, visually consistent mosaic over countries. There is also Metro, a consistent, very high-resolution, up-to-date mosaic product over more than 2,600 cities in the world. And lastly, First Look, a fast access to pre- and post-event imagery of current world disasters. EarthWatch Streaming is similar to EarthWatch Premium, but without download and a fixed pricing per seat. Therefore, there is no quota associated. EarthWatch Standard includes the global basemap layer instead of daily. It's a curated version of the best imagery based on cloud cover and off-nadir angle. The holdback is 90 days, so an image will be available in the platform only 90 days after acquisition. EarthWatch Standard includes Vivid, but not Metro neither First Look. There is no access to the whole catalog and in EarthWatch Standard. In the background of all EarthWatch offerings, you can display OpenStreetMap and Google Maps vector sets. I hope I have provided a clear outline of the imagery layers. However, just in case, don't hesitate to ask a question. Let's have a look to the key features now. In EarthWatch Premium and Standard, you have access to imagery in visualization and download, including 30 cm resolution imagery acquired from WorldView 3 and WorldView 4. Full metadata is accessible for all images. Imagery is downloadable under various formats, like the non-orthorectified OR2A, but orthorectified as well, panchromatic, 4 bands or 8 bands. Shortwave infrared is also available. You can download full strips or custom AOIs with a minimum size of 1 square kilometer. This data is then available for you to work with offline, like to be processed and analyzed through your chosen remote sensing software. We will see during the demonstration that there is a powerful interface to digitize features, place annotations, and prepare reports that you can export in various standard formats. This is very convenient and makes EarthWatch a very versatile tool that can be used by those unfamiliar with GIS or geospatial products, even if their workstation is not equipped with a GIS client. Talking about GIS software, for a more advanced usage, it's possible to integrate EarthWatch using OGC compliant streams. There is even a dedicated add-on for ArcGIS, which provides a dedicated user interface for EarthWatch within ArcMap and ArcGIS Pro. Let's talk a bit about this new consumption model. I mentioned earlier that EarthWatch Premium and Standard come up with a quota that you consume while streaming or downloading imagery. It's like your cell phone data plan. When you go on the internet, it consumes the quota coming with your subscription. There are many tiers available with EarthWatch. The first one comes with a 2 GB quota for EarthWatch Premium for 1 year. It's approximately the streaming of 141,000 square kilometers of imagery at zoom level 14, or 357 square kilometers of downloads. I will explain later what the zoom level refers to. It's an important concept of EarthWatch. Then 4 GB, 15 GB, and so on to terabytes. In order to help you to find the tier fitting your needs based on your estimation of square kilometer, I refer you to the EarthWatch tier calculator I mentioned earlier. The licensing. With EarthWatch Premium, it's perpetual. It means that you have the right to use the downloaded imagery from EarthWatch even after contract termination. With EarthWatch Standard, the license on the downloaded imagery is only valid during the course of the contract. One great thing is that there is no restriction on concurrent accesses within users of the same organization on Premium and Standard. This means that you can share credentials and the program can be used by several people at the same time. There is a way to monitor your consumption. We'll see that during the demo. If you wonder what is happening if you consume all of your quota, here's the explanation. At 95% of tier gigabyte allocation, the downloads are disabled. Above 100% of gigabyte allocation, the streaming is limited to 4.8 meters ground sampling distance. It's time now to switch to the EarthWatch interface. Here we are. So this is, at a first glance, very similar to a cartographic interface. So let's have a look to the interface now. Here we have the upper menu, and we can review the options. So the first refers to the settings of the map, its configuration, and its appearance. Here we can define alerts, put bookmarks, and go to the library, which is a repository from where you can download imagery. You can, from here, access the advanced search. Here are the options to use EarthWatch imagery outside EarthWatch using OGC compliant streams. From here, you can watch your consumption. And the cart is a place to manage your orders. On the upper right corner here is the account configuration and the access to help. We have here the button to manage the zoom, as you can see. Here's the button to draw an AOI. And on the left side, we have a toolbar with more advanced options. So first, let's see how to change the background layer. So here I'm on Google Maps. If I prefer, I can switch to OpenStreetMap. And from this menu, I can display Landsat as a background layer. It's a Landsat mosaic. It's quite convenient if you want to zoom over a specific landmark. From this menu, there is an option to show the latest imagery ingested within EarthWatch. So for example, I can have a look to the images acquired, ingested last 30 days. And I can zoom. So we can have a look here on the bottom left corner. There is the scale bar, and the zoom level is indicated. It's quite important to have a look on this zoom level, because this is starting from zoom level 11 that the quota will begin to be consumed and digital globe imagery be displayed. So I will switch off the footprint and go back to Google Map as a background layer. And I will zoom to Munich. So here we are, zoom level 11, as you can see here. And now it's a mashup of digital globe imagery that is displayed. So your quota begins to be consumed from this zoom level. So it's pretty important to keep that in mind, because if you're panning at this zoom level, you do not really take the benefit of very high resolution imagery, but already consuming your quota. So it's better to continue to zoom. And from zoom level 13, as you can see now, there is a new panel at the bottom, which is called the carousel. And this is from where you can control the images you want to be displayed. So I can continue to zoom. So here's the place where the Oktoberfest was taking place last week. And we are looking at an image acquired, as mentioned here, 21st September 2019. So from here, I can control the image and display another one or several at the same time. Here is only the online images. It means that the image is directly viewable at full resolution within EarthWatch. But that's not the full content of the digital globe catalog. So I can switch to the DG archive here. And from here, I have access to every imagery. So even with a high off-nadir angle or a high cloud coverage. So from the DG archive, the images are only viewable in low resolution. It's actually only the quick look. But from here, you can put images in production and move them from the DG archive to the online carousel. So it's like moving from a cold storage to a hot storage. If I go back to the online, it's a curated version of the catalog. So only the most recent imagery with a low cloud cover and a narrow off-nadir angle. In here, there is always maximum 50 tiles. It's just to light a bit the interface. Otherwise, that would be too cumbersome to navigate. I can play with the filters to select imagery I'm interested in. Here we have a set of filters. I would say the most interesting are max GSD. If we want to look only at 30 centimeter imagery, for example, then we'll put the cursor at 39 centimeter and validate. I can also select imagery based on the number of bands. Let's say if I'm not interested in worldview 1, in panchromatic imagery only, I can select that from here. I can put a restriction on the off-nadir angle, and so on. So here we are selecting only 30 centimeter imagery. So here we have this image acquired in July. I can have a look to the metadata. So we see here that's a worldview 3 imagery. Ground sampling distance is 30 centimeter. Acquired on 4th of July 2019, ingested few hours later the same day. Here I have the angles, so the off-nadir angles, which is 23 degrees. The information about the sun elevation and the sun azimuth, the cat ID, and some more information. So I can zoom in to check the quality. There is 20 zoom levels. So here I'm at zoom level 18, which is suitable for 50 centimeter imagery. Now zoom level 19, which is perfect for 30 centimeter imagery. And if I want to zoom even more, then I have another zoom level, the zoom level 20. All images within EarthWatch are ortho-rectified. So they overlap with the vectors. We can play with the transparency here. I can even move to switch to OpenStreetMap, which might be more detailed in this urban environment. And since we have several images here, we can compare them. So I will pick up another image in the carousel. And I will use this option here, compare. So here we can see that the tents were in construction. And we can navigate while comparing the images. We can even compare more images to have like a slideshow. Okay. Here I have the lock, which is freezing the current selection of images. So I don't need them anymore. I will unlock and I will remove the filters. So I'm back to the initial view. So one more tool before giving the floor to my colleague Tobias. The snapshot here it's quite convenient. It's taking a snapshot of the current view. What is interesting is that compared to the tool you might use with your operating system, is that in that case, you are able to take the snapshot at image resolution instead of screen resolution. Actually, you have the choice here. You can see full resolution or screen resolution. So if you want to be sure to have the best quality while taking a snapshot, then be sure that here you're on full resolution. From here, you have even more options. Actually, your snapshot will be georeferenced. So you can choose the projection, geographic or UTM. You can choose the format. So here the snapshots are useful when you want to prepare a report. It's not aimed to download the full resolution imagery. For that, there is other option. So you can just enter name to library. The snapshot will be processed and be available a bit later. Okay, now Tobias will show us more advanced options.
All right, thanks Arnaud for the introduction and the shown features. I will proceed and I will pass back to Arnaud later. Arnaud has just shown the snapshot tool. Another option to download an image is actually based on an area of interest or an AOI. There are several options to create an AOI. You can press this button here. I first zoom a little out. So we press this button here and we have several options. We either can draw a polygon, draw a rectangle, upload a shapefile, and some more options to create an AOI. In this case, I want to drag a rectangle. I just draw that one around the Oktoberfest. You need to make sure that your AOI is larger than 1 square kilometer, because you can't download any imagery that is less than 1 square kilometer in EarthWatch. But this is actually a big advantage towards standard ordering, because at standard ordering, minimum order size is 25 square kilometers. So if you're interested in small AOIs, then this option is a big advantage. And we have the choice to either download from the online catalog or from the whole Maxar archive. I will demonstrate this, how this works with the archive. So I switch to the archive catalog. And then from here, I choose an image. To ease that, we can switch on the thumbnails, which makes it easier to select an image. Maybe I'm interested in an older one. Maybe this one. And here in the archive, you only see a low resolution image. And now we can process that image to full resolution. First, for that, we use the hamburger menu down there. From here, we can add the image to the card. and a new window pops up. This takes a few seconds. And here we can first create an order name. Let's call it unique 2014. And we can choose if we either want to deliver the product into the library from where we can then download the product to our hard drives, or we also can put the product into our online carousel as a private image. I will decide to put the image into our library so I can download it to our hard drives later. Then we have to choose end use, where you have several parameters. In our case, we choose a product evaluation. Then you can choose the product type. Let's say I'm interested in a auto-ready standard natural color image. Then a few more parameters pop up which I can choose from. So I can choose from the bit depth to the resampling kernel, or if I want to apply ACOMP to the image, which is like atmospheric compensation, like a haze reduction. If options are grayed out, as you see here, those are recommended options and you can't change them anymore. But let's say I want to have a 16-bit image. After you have selected all those parameters, you can then add the image to the card and go to the card. From where you then can submit the order if it shows up. Here it is. Now we submit the order. And by submitting the order, you place the order, you will receive an email notification that that order has been placed. And as soon you have received this email notification, it will go into your library, which is accessible from up here. So something went in there already. Not that one we had submitted, but just to show it, I have prepared that same image already. So up until now, you won't be charged for anything. You just get charged if you will unlock the image, and then you're getting shown the billing size. So the volume, which will be taken off from your full data volume. So before accepting that one, you won't be charged. In our case, I just cancel that. And you always can track the progress of your order in the dashboard under order history. So here we see there's orders still pending. We can have a look at it. And you get, yeah, that was that one. And you get several other information, like you get the SOLI number, how I called it, and you should even get the CAT ID down here. And you always can track the process. So now it's still pending, but as soon as it gets complete, you can download it from your library. All right, let's say you want to play around with banned orders for different applications, but you actually don't want to download the product, then there's actually a really cool feature. And then there's a exploit mode. You can access exploit mode from the catalog choice down here. So we've seen the online mode, the archive mode, and now I will go into exploitable. Yeah, we're in there. And with exploit mode, you can process imagery on the fly, change band orders, or you can apply filters like apply ACOMP, the atmospheric compensation, which reduces the haze, or you can just adjust the dynamic range. And the imagery gets processed within seconds straight within EarthWatch. So let's choose an image. For that, I will turn on the thumbnails just to make it easier to choose a nice one. So if I click that and then exploit the image, it gets developed within the platform straight away, within seconds. Yeah, here we go. So this image just developed straight away. And let's say you're interested in the vegetation around the Oktoberfest. So I could just produce this image as a false color infrared image straight away. So I could choose here from some exploit presets, but I also could assign the channels manually down here. Let's apply. And here we go. The image develops. And we have a false color image. All right, let's have another example for atmospheric compensation, which you could add in exploit mode. Let's choose another image. And find a suitable example for that. I don't see, maybe this one could be worth it. Let's start exploiting it. It's a little cloudy and hazy at least, so we could just add the atmospheric compensation algorithm to it and apply that one. Let's see what it does. Yeah, as you see, the haze got reduced and the image just got quite nice. And another thing that's really good to know is playing around with an exploit mode, zooming in, zooming out, panning, or whatever you do in here doesn't get allocated to your volume. So nothing is getting consumed and you're not getting charged for it, for that. But what you're getting charged for is as soon you would publish the image. This is actually publishing this image in that case is actually putting it into your library from where you would download it, or putting it into your online carousel where you have access straight away from the online carousel then in a private image, but you don't have to download. Okay, let's quit exploit mode. And go back to the online catalog. Additionally to the filters Arnaud has shown before, there's another way to search for imagery based on an AOI, which I quickly want to demonstrate. This is called advanced search. So I will drag a rectangle first, create an AOI quickly. And based on this AOI, I can then go to advanced search. This is much like our online search and discover tool, where you see straight away which imagery is available and you see the date on which it has been collected. You see the sensor. You have access to the metadata. You can apply, you can search either the online catalog or the whole Maxar archive. And you also can apply the usual filters Arnaud has shown before. And let's say you have a bigger AOI, you can also choose several of those scenes, select them, and from those selected scenes, you then can create a mashup from down here. This will give you the option to produce this like bigger AOI with several scenes. The only difference to the online catalog and just getting it from the image from one scene is that you don't have those product options that you have when ordering from one scene. But you will get the image as it is shown in EarthWatch. So let's say this is a 50 centimeter image, GUI1, you will get it as a 50 centimeter image, GUI1, as RGB. You just get what's shown, so you can't change the product around for now. Maybe this feature will be added at a later stage. Let's return. Now we mainly had a look at the plus daily image layer, which is the most recent data with a holdback of 2 days that gets inserted into the EarthWatch online carousel. But there's also other layers coming with the EarthWatch Premium account. So let's say you are interested in mainly good-looking, high-quality images where currency is not too critical. There are 2 really nice mosaic layers available in EarthWatch. Those are called Vivid and Metro. Let's have a look at Metro, or no, we just have a look at Vivid first. And have a look at another location. So you see from that image that it's a really nice looking mosaic that actually covers the whole world. So you don't have any seam lines or anything between those images. And this is getting updated generally globally and annually. In Vivid, it's generally 50 centimeter imagery that gets inserted in here, and it's nicely processed. Additionally to Vivid, you have the Metro layer, which even gives a higher resolution in many areas of the world, up to 30 centimeters, which we can have a look at as well. So I turn into the Metro layer for the same location. And we see that we actually have 30 centimeter imagery available here. It's very similar to Vivid actually, but the thing is that in Metro, the imagery is restricted to metropolitan areas worldwide. As we see down here, we also get a date of the image, but actually it's not the date of the image, but it's the date when the mosaic got inserted into EarthWatch. If we want to get the dates from which this whole image was created, we can have a look at the metadata. And here we see that this image, which got inserted on the 20th of December in 2018, it's actually from imagery from May and October 2018. And on top of those really nice mosaic layers within Metro, there is another layer which is the first look layer. The first look layer provides images of major global events like crisis events and natural and man-made disasters. And it oftentimes comes with before and after imagery for disaster response that is already processed in the way best suited for decision makers. Let's have a look. So here you have the first look layer. And I have prepared an example for that. In recent years, we had pretty severe wildfires in California. So here, let's say in this image from 2018, you see an area which had a severe wildfire and you see the burned vegetation and stuff. And the image already got inserted in color infrared image because it's best to detect vegetation and you see the burned areas pretty well. And as I said, with EarthWatch, a lot of before and after disaster imagery gets inserted, so we can have a look for imagery taken before that event happened. And with the compare feature that Arnaud has shown, we can have a look at how the vegetation looked before. So here the vegetation looks really healthy still. And after the disaster happened, the wildfires, everything's burned down. This is a pretty impressive feature, I think. I will just unlock this and go back to daily mode. And that's it from my side. I will pass back to Arnaud now he will now explain a few more features.
Thank you, Tobias. Before demonstrating more technical features, I want to show you how to track your quota consumption. I mentioned it when I first presented the interface here in usage. My usage opens a panel showing the actual consumption starting from the contract beginning. So here we have a contract that began in June, 14 June. So on the left side, we have here a bar chart showing for the current user and the current layer how much we consume in streaming and in download. So here 4.2 gigabytes in streaming and 688 megabytes in download. So this is only for the daily layer, since we are on daily. If I move to another layer, let's go back to Vivid, for example. We'll see that the features, the figures are different since we didn't use Vivid as much as we used daily. So here we only have streaming, and we stream 93 megabytes of daily since the beginning of the contract, so since June this year. On the right here, we have two bars. One refers to the total consumption in gigabyte for the account. So this is these figures that you have to track precisely. Here we have a contract of 25 gigabytes. This is our contract, our annual budget, 25 gigabytes, and we consume 7.7 gigabyte. So we still have 17.3 gigabyte ahead, and we can compare that with the course of the contract. So we are here in October now, so we have some margin, and we can use the tool a bit more, even a bit more. So using this panel, then you can track if you are over consuming or under consuming your quota, and ultimately at the end of the year, you can decide whether you need a bigger or a smaller EarthWatch account. I will go back to daily. And now I would like to give you some tips to navigate within the imagery without over consuming your quota. And actually, Tobias used them already. I don't know if you noticed. He used here the search bar, so you can type any place, and you will automatically zoom over the place with the proper extent. So let's do it again. With the Eiffel Tower, we have some choices here. If we select, then we zoom in directly with the proper extent, which is very convenient because you can move from one place to another without dezooming, panning, and rezooming. So you avoid all that quota consumption. So now, if I want, I can just go back to the Oktoberfest. And that's pretty fast. Another tips, it's the bookmarks. Tobias used already bookmarks here. So with the bookmark, you can save the extent, the current extent. So I just have to enter the name of my bookmark. So it's headed here in the list. And if I click on any bookmark, then I will move directly to the place. It's also quite convenient. By the way, from the search bar, you can also enter coordinates and also any cat ID. and it will zoom directly over the place and show you the image. If the image is online, then you will be able to see the image at full resolution. If the image is just contained in the global archive but not produced, you will see the quick look and you will be able to trigger the production. There is another interesting features. It's called the alerts. So it's a feature to be informed when a new image is ingested within EarthWatch over your area of interest. Let's say I'm interested to be informed when a new image is ingested over there. So I can just draw a polygon, put a name, I can select a start and an end date for my alert. So here for 1 year, I have an alert valid for 1 year. And the system will check here every hour or every 4 hours or every 24 hours, which might be suitable. We can be informed by email or RSS. We can put several email addresses here to alert also some colleagues if we want. The email will contain the browse, so the quick look of the image and the metadata. And I can be alerted whether the image is online, so viewable within EarthWatch at full resolution, or within the archive, or both. So if the image is not directly online, but still in the catalog, if you have EarthWatch Premium, then you will be able to trigger the production and produce the image. I can also select some filter on the GSD if I'm interested only by 30 centimeter imagery or on the off-nadir angle. And from here, I can manage all the alerts. Now, I would like to show you a very useful feature, which is called annotations. With the annotation, you can digitize and prepare reports directly within the web interface without the need of a third-party software. So it's convenient for the people who doesn't have a GIS workstation, but still wants to produce vector datasets. So it's here on the left side. So I will zoom here. So we have a set of tools. So we have the magnifying glass, callout, polyline, polygon, symbols, text, and so on. So I will digitize here the tense, for example. So I can do that directly within the web interface. I can change the color. Okay, I will change the outline. I can put some symbols. I can configure a bit the symbols, let's say reduce the size. I can put some text. So I have to enter the text here. Can choose the color, the font, and the size. So let's put it in big. Okay, I can also remove features if I've made a mistake. And when I'm done, I can save. And from this panel, Manage, I can export in shapefile, in KML or KMZ. So let's export in KML. It will be open with Google Earth. We can see the result. So we see that the result is exactly what I digitized within the interface. So now we can share that with the colleagues, for example. Let's go back to the interface. I will clear the annotation and close the tab, because I would like to show you now how to integrate a third-party OGC stream directly within the web interface. Let's say if you have a server in your organization that stream imagery in WMS or WMTS, you can do that, integrating and visualizing the imagery within EarthWatch, or you can find also some free streams on the web. You click on here, you select the format, and you just have to paste the link here, and it will be added on the left panel here. So here there is one that I entered previously, which is called Black Marble. It's the Earth at night. It's a free stream I found on the web. So you can see that now it's it overlapped the content of EarthWatch. So it might be convenient, let's say, if you have a Sentinel-2 imagery stream, you can also play with the transparency. It's a convenient feature. So not only you can integrate OGC stream within EarthWatch, but you can also integrate EarthWatch imagery within third-party software via WMS, WMTS. It's in here, use with. So you can stream EarthWatch within Google Earth, which is pretty cool. You can stream within ArcGIS using a specific plugin, or use the S3 REST services if you're a developer want to embed EarthWatch within an app. And here we have the web services, so the standard WMS, WMTS, WFS, and WCS links. And actually, you can tweak the links if you want to access to a specific cat ID, or want to specify a range of date, or put a filter. You can do that by tweaking the link. And to do that, I refer you to the help, the online documentation that is accessible here on the top right corner. We have here user documentation. The user documentation is a good first point of reference for most questions you might have. But here in developer guides, you see we have a set of guides which are quite technical, and that explain how to tweak the link to put filters. So here there is all the sets of parameters with the data type and example if you want to specify to a specific bounding box or anything. There is even examples here. So here we have an example with an acquisition date greater than May 2009. Or the example here. Okay, so I think we are done with the EarthWatch live demonstration. We hope that you enjoy it and have now a better understanding of the product. Sky, I'll give you back the floor.
Thank you, Anu and Toby, for that very insightful overview of EarthWatch. And thank you to all of our attendees for making the time to